My name's Kayla, and this is Cinnamon the Score Bunny, and today we're going to be speculating about ways that Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl might tie into Pokemon Legends Arceus.
But Kayla, Pokemon BDSP are faithful remakes. That means they're going to be exactly like the originals.
I mean, the new features shown so far don't impact the story, so on first glance this would appear to be true. But if you look a little more closely, you'll start to notice a few things that don't add up. Also, based on the Pokédex numbers we've seen so far, 2 Pokemon have been added to the Sinnoh Dex for BDSP. But how could they incorporate new lore into these games while still being faithful to the originals? While there's probably going to be minor changes throughout, the main way to introduce new lore into a remake is to include a post-game storyline. Pokemon's post-game content has, for the most part, become increasingly more elaborate. Sword and Shield even included not 1, but 2 DLC with their own stories and lore. And if you're thinking, yeah, but BDSP is a remake, not a new game, then let me introduce you to the Delta episode, aka the postgame of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. The postgame in Oras had some of the biggest lore drops in the entire franchise, especially the confirmation that Pokemon games exist in a multiverse. I think it's very likely that BDSP's main story will remain the same, but that it will have a postgame story full of new lore, just like in Oras. The postgame of BDSP will probably tie these games to Pokemon Legends Arceus. They're releasing so close to each other that it would be insane not to use BDSP partly as a marketing opportunity for Legends. There are a lot of possibilities for what this postgame could include. I think it's most likely that the postgame will be us searching for Hisuian Zorua and Zoroark after we find the Canalave library footage, but I already talked about that in a previous video, which I'll link at the end of this. So let me instead talk about some other ideas. One of the most fascinating ideas, in my opinion, is that the postgame could incorporate time travel. We know that time travel is definitely a thing in the Pokemon universe. It started as early as Gen 2 when we had the time capsule, which allowed us to transfer Pokemon from Gen 2 into Gen 1, aka the past. We also have multiple instances of people falling into other universes, sometimes even through time. For example, it's heavily implied that Zinnia is from a different future Hoenn. Could we see characters from BDSP travel back in time to the Hisui region? Could that be why we haven't seen any of Cynthia's ancestors in the Legends trailers yet? Is Cynthia her own great-grandmother? Okay, the Cynthia part is probably just a conspiracy theory, but it would be so cool to see a character travel back in time from BDSP to Pokemon Legends Arceus. Another possibility is that instead of sending a person back, we might send an object. The most obvious thing would be the Arc Phone. The Arc Phone seems oddly out of place in PLA. It's more advanced than we would expect technology to be at that time. Plus, the player character seems to just find it on the ground, making the next logical question, where did it come from? I wouldn't be surprised if the postgame of BDSP explains how the Arc Phone ended up in the past, exactly where it needed to be for the main character's ancestor to pick it up. So those are 3 postgame ideas that would connect Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl to Pokemon Legends Arceus. How do you think BDSP will connect to PLA? Do you think it will be through the postgame? Let me know in the comments. And make sure to watch this video where I go into more detail about why Hisuian Zorua and Zoroark are probably going to be in BDSP. I'll be live streaming my playthrough of BDSP right here on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe and also follow me on Twitter for more information about what I'll be playing. Bye!